What's going on, guys? It's Matthew here at Gadget University, and I'm here finally with the review for the Samsung Droid Charge with Verizon. Now, this is a 4G LTE device, so that means you can get up to 12 megabits down and up to 5 megabits up with your data speed. It's a great phone overall. The hardware is still the typical Samsung plastic design. However, this phone feels a little bit more solid. If you look along the side, you have like a chrome highlight along the bezel, along with like a harder plastic, and then on the back you have your trademark Samsung plastic. Now the back does come off pretty easy, and this what kind of makes me feel like the plastic is a little bit on the thin side. Let me pull it off here. Okay, now you see here you have, one second. If you see here, you have your battery, which is a 1600 milliamp battery. Lasts very long. We'll get more into that later on. Your LTE SIM card slot. You have your 8 megapixel camera and your LED flash. Also, you have your 32 gigabyte SD card slot. Now, you see how thin this back is. I'm not sure how long it will last, but it is fairly thin. But it's pretty much the standard now. A lot of battery backs are like that. HTC and other manufacturers are making their phones like that as well. Okay, and so along the left hand side you have your volume rocker. You have I think a microphone slot right here. On the left right here you have your micro USB charging and sync port. Bottom there's nothing, and on the right side is where you have your power wake sleep button, and you have your HDMI. Let's go ahead and pull that out, and there that goes. I'm not sure why they didn't use the MHL, where they combine the HDMI and the USB port into one slot. Maybe they chose not to use that for specific reasons, but other than that, man, this is a really nice phone. My daily phone is the HTC Thunderbolt, and while HTC has great build quality, always has, Samsung is definitely stepping their game up with this phone. A lot of people have complained about these phones being really plasticky and cheap feeling. But they make great displays. I mean, you can see right now that the display on this phone is phenomenal compared to the Super LCD that's in the HTC Thunderbolt. So the screen is a 4.3 Super AMOLED Plus screen. If you're familiar with the Galaxy S phones, those had AMOLED screens, Super AMOLED screens. Now these are Super AMOLED Plus, meaning that you're going to get a lot of blacker blacks, a lot deeper colors. Now this is running Android 2.2. And so it does not have the newest build of Android, which is Gingerbread Android 2.3. It also has their Touchwiz 3.0, which is Samsung's skin that they put on their Android devices. It's not too bad. It has a lot of advancements over the stock Android. You can have like toggles on the top. You have like a very simple iPhone style app drawer. A lot of people like that. On this phone, Verizon does put some bloatware on the device. You do get your typical backup assistant and BitBot, City ID. You get Let's Golf. You get your My Verizon mobile app, your Rhapsody, TuneWiki, VZ Navigator, and VCast Media. Those are the typical Verizon apps that they put on every Android phone. So I wasn't really too shocked there. It doesn't really harm the phone or slow it down any, so it's not really a bad thing. Just kind of in the way if you don't use it. Now the Touchwiz interface is probably I say one of my favorites. I'm not a huge fan of the skins that are on these phones like HTC Sense or Motor Blur or Touchwiz, but Touchwiz is actually not that bad, and I would say that really because of the keyboard. If you go ahead and do here. The keyboard is extremely comfortable. it's very spaced out. It's really easy to type on. You know, you can access a lot of stuff. Also, it does come with swipe, so if you're used to swipe, you can swipe here. So you can always use that as well. Also, with every Touchwiz provides a little bit more features than other devices. When I say that, I was referring to like the music player. If you check here, you see the music player is a little bit different. It's not your typical Android music player. It does not work with Google Music yet, but I'm pretty sure when they update to Touchwiz 4.0, it's meant for gingerbread devices. So I'm thinking that the Google Music feature will be added in there as well. Now also, not only do you have a music player, you also have a video player. Now this basically pulls all of the videos from your SD card and it plays it. And because of this Super AMOLED screen, I mean, you have great picture quality. Now, some of the features include you can do 5.1 channels surround sound simulation if you have a headphone jack or some speakers plugged up. You also have little features like where you can adjust the brightness and let me see if you can adjust the brightness and you can adjust the color tone. There's also a feature for outdoor visibility, which like makes the picture over like really contrast. Let's go ahead and show you what that looks like indoors. So it gives you a little bit more color so that when you're outside, things don't look as washed out. But those are just like some of the things that Touchwiz does that no other really Android device, and it really allows Android to shine on this device. Galaxy S devices are really known for their multimedia experiences, and with this Super AMOLED screen, it really does shine. Now you also do get some widgets that are much different than other devices as well. You get like a feeds and update widgets, which basically pulls your Twitter and your Facebook feed. You have your typical Android widgets like your power control, and if you want Slacker and music, you can get those as well. Also, you have a weather widget, stock widget, you have a news widget, and you have a little calendar widget which tells you your next appointment and things like that. Now I really like this main widget on the front that has your weather. I find it really cool because it has a very big and really easy to read. It reminds me of the HTC clock that comes on the HTC phones with HTC Sense. Let's see what else you got here. One thing I did find is that this phone, sometimes you have to really put your thumb down for it to recognize. It's not really sensitive, as sensitive as I would like it to be. You have your typical Verizon apps right here, and here's your contact carousel, which I like really good. This is really cool because you can add your favorite contacts and then just kind of go through them. You can reply from a message, you can call them. It's pretty cool. So go get some other widgets you got. Did I touch it? There he goes. You have Buddies Now, Daily Briefing, Dual Clock, Feeds and Updates, which is what we saw with the Twitter and Facebook. And that's pretty much it. Program Monitor, which is like a task killer, shows you what programs are open. That's pretty cool. Also, now the camera and the movie quality. Now the camera is very good. Let me demonstrate that for you guys. Samsung has one of the greatest cameras, I would say next to HTC's new devices. A lot of times people consider this to be like better than HTC. I'm not too sure about that, only because this has a really good screen. So when you take a picture, you're like, oh man, this is a great picture. But the screen really is much better, so it kind of misleads you. Kind of reminds me of like Canon DSLRs. They have such great screens. A lot of people feel like they take better pictures than Nikon's or other DSLRs, but really it's really for because of the screen. But overall, I mean, it shoots 720p video and it shoots very good. I'm gonna try to upload a sample for you guys. as well. Now, this is a phone, so let's not forget what we're here for. I mean, it's a phone. Call quality is very good. I can tell you right now that this is probably one of the best speaker phones I've ever used. Hold on. I'm gonna call the voicemail. Actually, I don't want to call the voicemail because it's gonna do the visual voicemail. All right, look how loud the speakerphone is. Very loud, very clear.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. Para español, oprima la estrella. Ready for a new phone? You can check your upgrade eligibility date by dialing pound UPG from your handset.
So, I mean, if you use speakerphone a lot and you're a little hard of hearing, I don't know, but this is very loud. The handset speaker gets very loud as well. So when you're using a phone, when you're on a phone call, I have a two-seater car, so when I'm on the phone and I have a lot of road noise, I did not hear any complaints about me getting any them hearing my car or me not being able to hear them. So call quality was very, very great. I'm in a 3G area, so I did not experience any LT 3G drop calls where it tries to switch over. So everything was really great. This is probably one of the greatest phones I've used. Samsung phones in general have always had great call quality and held the signal very well. Now the data speed and consistency, like I said, I'm in a 3G area, so I mean I'm just getting about 2 megs down, sometimes about 500 kilobits up. So it's not really nothing to scream home about. I'm about 90 miles from a LTE area in Atlanta. So I did not get a chance to take this up to Atlanta to show off the 4G speeds, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be just like the HTC Thunderbolt, and Verizon's network up there is awesome, so it's going to get a very good speed. Now battery life, I can't help but keep comparing it to my daily, which is the HTC Thunderbolt. A lot of people were having problems with the battery life on the Thunderbolt. This right here, I've gotten probably about 16 to 18 hours on it, easy. At the most, I've gotten about 12 hours on here. This is in a 3G area, mind you. So in a 4G area, you're probably going to get about 4 to 5 hours on a Thunderbolt, and you're probably going to get somewhere between 6 and 7, maybe 8 hours on a Droid Charge. So that is still very good for a smartphone, considering that I did a lot of movie watching, Twitter, Facebook, web browsing. I did a hotspot from time to time. And so I mean 16 hours, you know, on a battery like this is awesome. Now, final thoughts, should you get this phone? Now, there's a lot of options right now with Verizon and their 4G LTE lineup. You have the HTC Thunderbolt, you have this phone, you have the LG Revolution, which will be here pretty soon, and which I think comes out May 26th for $249. So you have the LG Revolution is $249, this is $299, and this is $249 as well. Right now, if it depends on what you want. If you're a very multimedia enthusiast, I think that this is the phone for you. I really love watching movies, and the screen. This screen is probably the best selling point of this device. It does still have the front-facing camera, 1.3 front-facing camera, so you can still do the FaceTime. You can still do the video chat and all that stuff. It has HDMI mirroring, so I mean you're not really missing anything. This does not support HDMI out. The LG Revolution does. I can't really do a full comparison for you guys and help you make a decision. I don't have the LG Revolution here, but I will say that if you're looking for a good multimedia device and you're trying to watch a lot of movies and listen to a lot of music and you make a lot of calls on your phone, this is a great phone. So definitely check it out. If you don't believe me, go to your local Verizon store and try it out and let me know what you think. A lot of people who are really familiar with modding and rooting their phones, they tend to stay away from Samsung. HTC is a little bit more open. If you're into custom ROMs and things like that, you can put a lot of custom ROMs on here. As you see right now, I have Sense 3.0 on my phone. and Android and Gingerbread. So this right here, the dev community isn't as strong. So if that's a factor to you, of course you would want to go with HTC. But alright guys, I'm going to quit rambling. If you have any questions, let me know. And I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.